everyone, welcome to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 371, and let's begin with Korean Discoveries 1. Let's talk about birthdays, but very special birthdays, or birthdays that are considered to be very special in Korea. From a long, long time ago, let's talk about a baby's first birthday. So here we go. When it comes to a baby's first birthday, why is it celebrated as it is in Korea? I heard that it is because long time ago, not many babies survived very long. Many of the babies that were born did not live up to their first birthday. So simply put, we're saying that many babies in the past, they died before reaching age 1 or reaching their first birthday. So when a baby reached their first birthday a long time ago, that baby was considered to be a very blessed and healthy baby. So thus, it was a huge celebration. Now, if a foreigner or somebody asks you why a baby's first birthday is so tremendously celebrated in Korea, you should be able to explain to them, right? Okay, well, if you're ready, let's begin with Actual Talk.
I had the pleasure of going to my friend's child's first birthday party on the weekend.
Have you been to one before in Korea?
I've been to a couple before, but it was like when I first got to Korea, so I actually forgot about the process involved. It was a really special occasion. It was a foreign friend, and he's married to a Korean woman. And we went there, and I'd kind of forgotten the procedure of what happens. Do you understand? Have you been to one before?
I've been to one. It's been a while, but my most memorable part of it was how they set out I don't know if it's 5 items, but maybe like a pencil or a stethoscope. I think they had a microphone there. And it's supposed to, whatever the baby touches first is kind of supposed to be predictive of what they will pursue or be skilled in the future, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah.
We don't have anything like that at home.
No, we don't have anything like that in England actually either. I think it's really cool, it's really interesting. I think maybe they put too much pressure onto it. Come on, baby, which one are you going to pick? Go for the ball, be a famous soccer player these days, whereas historically, as you said, it used to be a stethoscope or a pencil, and they'd be a lawyer.
So the items have changed?
Yeah, they have changed from historically to these days. Obviously, now you have a microphone and a ball and something to do with being an actor as well. But I think the most important one that is on an old table and on the new table is the money.
Money, yes.
So money begets money. If you pick the money, then you're going to be rich in the future. But it was an amazing experience. It was really cool.
That's good.
So here we are, starting a brand new week with a brand new category of topics. We had Martin and Mary helping us out today. Now, Martin did mention that over the weekend, he went to a friend's child's first birthday party. So it was a very special occasion, and he told us all about it. These two talk about the changes that have been made, the changes that we can see in these celebrations. So let's take a look at the conversation together. Time for Actual Talk. Here we go. Martin says, I had the pleasure of going to my friend's child's first birthday party over the weekend. Let's take a look at the beginning of the sentence. I had the pleasure of ing. Okay? I had the pleasure of doing something. You would usually start a sentence or say this in a situation where you want to talk about something that you really enjoyed doing, that you are grateful for. Okay, so he's saying that he enjoyed the experience very much. He was lucky to have been invited to the baby's first birthday party. I had the pleasure of going to my friend's child's first birthday party over the weekend. Have you been to one before in Korea? So have you been to one before in Korea? Mary asks. Here we go. Martin says, I've been to a couple before. So a couple, several, yes. Usually when you say a couple, you're talking about two. Okay, I've been to a couple. I've been to about 2 before, but usually even if you say a couple, just means a few, several. Okay, but it was when I first got to Korea. It was when I first arrived in Korea. So I actually forgot the process involved. He's talking about the process of a baby's first birthday party, the things that happen, the series of actions that are carried out to bring about a particular result. Simply put, what happens at a birthday party, okay? What happens? Things that happen. It was a really special occasion, okay? It was a foreign friend, so not a Korean friend, but a foreign friend, and he's married to a Korean woman. I see. So, it was his friend who happens to be a foreign friend who's married to a Korean female, a Korean woman. Okay. Now he asks, have you been to one before? Now, keep in mind, he's asking the same question back to Mary, right? Okay. Mary asked Martin, have you been to a child's first birthday in Korea? Have you been to one before in Korea? He answered, and he's asking the same question back. So here's a question for all of you. Which word in this question should be emphasized? Which word should you stress when you're asking the same question back to the person? That's right. Have you been to one before? Okay, so stress that. Let's try it together. Have you been to one before? Have you been to one before? And Mary says, I've been to one, so she's been to one of these birthday parties. It's been a while, meaning it's been a long time. But my most memorable part of it was how they set out the table. This means to lay out something, usually graphically or systematically. Just lay something out, okay? So she's saying that she remembers how the table was set out, how the table was prepared with things, how things were laid out on the table, how things were set out, okay? I don't know if it's 5 items, but there's maybe, or there are maybe like a pencil or a stethoscope. Tricky word here, okay? She says 5, but actually, I don't think there really is a rule. There is not a set rule to how many items you should have on that table. But the last time I went to my cousin's, my niece's first birthday party, there were a whole bunch of things on the table. A lot of things. I don't think I even remember each and every one of them, but there's definitely more than 5 items. I guess there could be 5, there could be 10, even more, I guess, but she remembers a pencil or a stethoscope. What is a stethoscope? It's a tricky word. Stethoscope, we'll practice the pronunciation later, but this is an instrument that doctors use usually when we go to the hospital. The doctors use an instrument to what? Listen to our heart or to listen to our breathing, right? That's right, that is a stethoscope. So she says she remembers seeing a pencil or a stethoscope on the table, set out on the table. And Mary says, I think they had a microphone there. Also a microphone. You could also call this a mic, right? M-I-C, mic or microphone. And whatever the baby touches first is supposed to be predictive of what they will pursue or be skilled in the future, right? Okay, so whatever the baby touches first, the very first item the baby touches is supposed to be predictive. What does to predict mean? Okay, predict. Some people can predict the future, which means foretell. Tell in advance. So predictive means foretelling. Okay, you know in advance what's going to happen in the future. So whatever item the baby touches, okay, it's supposed to be predictive of what they will pursue or be skilled in the future. Okay, that is not a mistake, but that's right. Be skilled in something in the future. Okay, that's exactly right, Martin says. Now, Mary says, we don't have anything like that at home. At home here, everyone, means what? In her home country, where Mary is from. Okay, so Mary's saying, we don't have anything like that from where I come from, in my home country, at home. No, we don't have anything like that in England either. So, they don't have that in England either. I think maybe they put too much pressure on it. Maybe he's saying that people take it too seriously. I don't think so. It's just, it's just for fun, I guess. And he gives that example, what parents usually say. Come on, baby, which one are you going to pick? Which item are you going to choose? Go for the ball. Be a famous soccer player. These are a few of the things that adults may say to the baby when they are grabbing things or picking things, picking items that are set out on the table. As you said, it used to be a stethoscope. So it used to be. This meaning what? A long time ago, it used to be a stethoscope or a pencil, and they would be a lawyer or a writer. I guess if you pick a pencil, you can be anything, a lawyer, writer, whatever. I think a stethoscope is, well, it means that you'll become a doctor, okay? So a microphone would mean that you'll become an entertainer, a singer, whatever it is. So that's what he's talking about. And so Mary says, so the items have changed? Have they changed? Because he said they used to be. Have they changed? Yeah, they have changed from historically to these days. Okay, so they have changed. Historically, okay, as a reminder, I have chosen this word. Why? Because still people get confused between historic and historical. Historic, historical. Historically comes from historical. Something that is historic means that it is important. Okay? Historical means that it pertains to. It somehow relates to past events or the past, history, for example. So he says they have changed from historically to these days, meaning the past, of the past to these days. Now you have a microphone and a ball and something to do with being an actor as well. But I think the most important one is the money. Okay, the most important one is the money. Money, yes, Mary says. Now here we go. Towards the end of the conversation, Martin says money begets money. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is our pattern for today, but let's take a look at beget. B-E-G-E-T-S. To beget something means to gain, okay? To bring about, to create. So money creates money. Money begets money. What this idiom means is money makes money, simply put. But we're saying that the more money you make, the easier it is to make more money. So money makes money. Money begets money, okay? Now, if you pick the money, then you're going to be rich in the future. But it was an amazing experience. It was really cool, he says. Now, we are talking about what? The cool experience, the amazing experience. We're talking about a baby's first birthday party in Korea. Okay, let's take a listen to actual talk one more time.
I had the pleasure of going to my friend's child's first birthday party on the weekend.
Have you been to one before in Korea?
I've been to a couple before, but it was like when I first got to Korea, so I actually forgot about the process involved. It was a really special occasion. It was a foreign friend, and he's married to a Korean woman.
Okay.
And we went there, and I'd kind of forgotten the procedure of what happens. Do you understand? Have you been to one before? I've
been to one. It's been a while, but my most memorable part of it was how they set out I don't know if it's 5 items, but maybe like a pencil or a stethoscope. I think they had a microphone there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to, whatever the baby touches first is kind of supposed to be predictive of what they will pursue or be skilled in the future, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah.
We don't have anything like that at home.
No, we don't have anything like that in England actually either. I think it's really cool, it's really interesting. I think maybe they put too much pressure onto it. Come on, baby, which one are you going to pick? Go for the ball, go for be a famous soccer player these days, whereas historically, as you said, it used to be a stethoscope or a pencil, and they'd be a lawyer or
so the
a
items
writer.
have changed.
Yeah, they have changed from historically to these days. Obviously, now you have a microphone and a ball and something to do with being an actor as well.
Okay.
But I think the most important one that is on an old table and on the new table is the money.
Money, yes.
So money begets money. If you pick the money, then you're going to be rich in the future. But it was an amazing experience. It was really cool.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, welcome back everyone. Today's actual talk was not too difficult, was it? I think it might have been easier for you to understand because we were talking about a very Korean topic. You know, a baby's first birthday or first birthday celebration party. Now, you can talk about the items that people usually set out on the table, but in order to freely talk about today's topic, you need to know the vocab words we listened to today and the idioms and the phrases. So let's review them together. It's time for actual expressions. The first word is process. Now, these two are talking about the process involved in these birthday parties. A baby's first birthday party. Process, we're talking about method. Perhaps technique. We're talking about the series of actions, okay, that are conducted, okay, to bring about a particular result, but that sounds too complicated, right? So process is basically method, measure, or technique, things that are done, okay, to achieve a particular result. Moving on to stethoscope. As I told you, this word is very tricky. It's a tongue twister, meaning it kind of twists your tongue when you try to pronounce it. It's a very difficult word to pronounce. So here we go. Stethoscope. Stethoscope. One more time. Stethoscope. Very tricky. It's an instrument that usually doctors use to listen to their patients or listen to people's hearts beating, or their breathing. Moving on to predictive. Here we go. Predictive, stress goes on the second syllable. Predictive. Think of the word predict, foretell. So predictive means anticipating or even foretelling. This is perhaps the easiest synonym. Historical, here we go. It's not historic, but with an A-L. Historical. Historical, which means of the past, okay? Historical, it means that it relates to the past. It has to do with past events. Now, let's move on to our first pattern. To set something out. We were talking about items that are set out, okay? Perhaps on a table, okay? Items that are laid out on a table, usually systematically, graphically. So, before I begin any project, I like to set out my desk. I like to set out my desk, okay? You could also add, if you want to add with this and that, you can say I like to set out my desk with, okay, A, B, and then go on, C, and then so on and so forth. Okay, you're setting things out, meaning to lay things out. Moving on to our next pattern, our final one. Money begets money. So beget means what, as I told you? Bring about, create. So money begets money means money makes money. Here's a sample sentence. His family is loaded. What does this mean? Loaded. You could load a truck with things. Means to put things on the truck. Load. Unload, right? Okay. But if you see that somebody is loaded, a person is loaded, you're saying that he or she is very wealthy, very rich, has a lot of money. So his family is loaded, meaning his family is very wealthy. His family is rich. They say money begets money. The more money you have, the easier it is to make more money. Okay, one more time. His family is loaded. They say money begets money. Okay, that is all for today's actual expressions, everyone. Job well done. Practice some more on your own.
In Korea, your first birthday is a very big celebration. In America, your first birthday is not very different from any other birthday. You just have a cake and you celebrate with your family and friends. But in Korea, it's a big event. In the past, when medicine was still developing, a lot of children died early from childhood diseases. So if you reached your first birthday, it was considered a big blessing that you had a healthy baby. So in Korea, they have a very big first birthday party. And there's one event that I found very fascinating. They put the child in front of a table that have many items on it. The child chooses an item, and that item determines their future. It's just for fun, but it's a tradition. Some of the items are money, which means you're going to be rich, a pencil, which means you're going to be smart, a thread, which means you're going to have a long life, and a knife, which means, a fake knife, which means that you're going to be good at cooking. So it's a fun tradition, and I've actually been able to go to a party before, and I really enjoyed seeing that event.
Welcome back, everyone. Did you listen carefully to what Whitney had to say? Whitney is from America, and she seems to know a lot about these babies' first birthdays that are celebrated in Korea. So she tells us all about it. Here we go. Let's take a look at it together. She says, in Korea, your first birthday is a very big celebration. Yes, it is. It's a very big celebration. It's a huge celebration. So, if you reached your first birthday, she's telling us about the origin, why these first birthdays are celebrated in Korea. If you reach something, arrive at a certain location, destination. If you reach your first birthday, basically means once you turn one, okay? All right, once you turn a year old, because on your first birthday, you would obviously turn a year old, right? So if you reached your first birthday, it was considered a big blessing. It was a blessing that you had a healthy baby. Here we go. So it meant that you had a healthy baby if the baby survived to be a year old. Long, long time ago. Not anymore, but this is where it all started, or how it all started. And there's one event that I find very fascinating. So she's talking about a particular event that's involved in these first birthday parties. Okay, it's fascinating. It fascinates her. And what is it? The child chooses an item. Now, in today's actual talk, we had the word pick that was used several times. The child picks an item. The child picks an item. You can select an item. You could choose an item. So the child chooses an item from the table, right? And that item determines their future. Okay, it's predictive. Remember that word? Predictive. So whichever item the child chooses or selects or picks from all those items on the table, you are believed to predict the future of the baby. So this was something that was very amazing, that amazed and fascinated Whitney, about babies' first birthdays in Korea. So I think that was a great response. Perhaps you can learn from this and practice it just in case you were to answer the same question in the future. So here is today's actual response one more time.
In Korea, your first birthday is a very big celebration. In America, your first birthday is not very different from any other birthday. You just have a cake and you celebrate with your family and friends. But in Korea, it's a big event. In the past, when medicine was still developing, a lot of children died early from childhood diseases. So if you reached your first birthday, it was considered a big blessing that you had a healthy baby. So in Korea, they have a very big first birthday party. And there's one event that I found very fascinating. They put the child in front of a table that have many items on it. The child chooses an item, and that item determines their future. It's just for fun, but it's a tradition. Some of the items are money, which means you're going to be rich, a pencil, which means you're going to be smart, a thread, which means you're going to have a long life, and a knife, which means, well, a fake knife, which means that you're going to be good at cooking. So it's a fun tradition, and I've actually been able to go to a party before, and I really enjoyed seeing that event.
You know, I think you can be creative when it comes to answering a question related to a baby's first birthday in Korea. Of course, you can mention that it's celebrated in Korea, why it's celebrated, or since when it is celebrated. You can talk about how it's, just a symbol of a healthy baby. You know, the baby was blessed to be healthy if they reached their first birthday. But what you can also talk about is perhaps the changes that have been made to the items that are laid out on the table. Or what about this? I thought that it was interesting how these days it's more of a celebration to kind of show off your child to people around you, to your friends, to your family, to show them how your little baby is grown, because it gives you the opportunity to invite close friends, colleagues from work, even family members to come and celebrate this occasion together, to have a look at your baby. It's a chance for you to show off your baby to people. So yeah, I think things have changed, and perhaps things will continue to change. I wonder which kinds of items will be laid out or set out on the table in about 10 years, maybe 15, 20 years, okay? So think about that. That would be a great response as well. So today we talked about, Korean Discoveries Part 1, focusing on a baby's first birthday. Next time we'll move on to part 2 and talk about most memorable experience. Now this is from the foreigner's point of view. So we'll get a chance to find out about their most memorable experiences of while they stayed in Korea. Okay, so please do tune in for that. In the meantime, as always, you are more than free to come to our homepage. Find your way over to www.ebse.co.kr. Look for Actual English with Jennifer. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts you want to share, feel more than welcome to post them up on our message board. And while you're there, check out our scripts that are uploaded on our homepage as well. Okay, well, that is a wrap for today's lesson, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to have to say goodbye. Until I join you back again next time, well, take care and bye for now.